About the tattoos, I have several long speeches on YouTube and on the disc that I gave you discussing tattoos. It is one of the most painful situations that we go through in the sense that it's permanent. So piercings, they could pierce up their face, 5 years later, no trace. A lot of other stuff, no trace. A tattoo, there are removals, but basically it's very permanent. It's the sin, but the sin of Shabbos is much worse than the sin of tattoo. The sin of Lashon Hara could be worse also, more lavin. So it's not just the sin, it's the sin that is so foreign to us, so hard for us to understand. Like, why this sin? Why can't you just sin like everyone else? You know, Lashon Hara, Rechilos, Sinas Chinam, Machlekes, you know, like Jewish sins, you know? And this one is like very foreign to us. Goyim get tattoos, Jews don't get tattoos. And we never got. I'm saying it's B'chlal, tattoos weren't so in style, maybe they were decades ago. Now it's coming in, and now we see, you know, it's like, why do you want to do this to yourself? Then there's all the spooky stuff. You're not going to be buried in a Jewish cemetery, which I heard is not true, but that's what they think. And so they subconsciously know that and feel bad. And then there's the embarrassment of the family. You know, you can kind of cover them up sometimes in pictures, but the tattoo part it's embarrassing. I think also there's a very painful emotional factor that the last time that Jews got tattoos was in the Holocaust, and is like, we associate like a tattoo on a Jewish body is like the ultimate of disgusting and humiliation, and now you're tattooing your body. There's also like Tzelem Aleichem, and you're tattooing it. There's a lot of different things about a tattoo that some parents, you know, it's harder than a bigger sin. Not just the sin factor, it's the yuckiness and the difficulty, the permanence. These are all reasons why we really cry. You know, that what happened since this kid was born. Whoever thought these kids would tattoo themselves and need to express themselves. And yet, it's just a reality that kids who are in pain, Jewish kids who are in pain, they express their pain with tattoos. It's a fact. They don't do it because they evaluated the sin. They didn't do it because they want to be like the Goyim. They didn't do it. They feel the need to do this expression. And us telling them, it's usur, it's embarrassing, it's permanent, don't do it, please don't do it. If all of those things would work, that would be my tool of choice. But they don't work. And we have parents who are in group who will testify that they had one kid that they really pressured, you know, and I'm not supporting it, and I'm not giving you, and oh, why are you doing this? And really didn't support it. And that kid is head to toe in tattoos. And they have another kid that they said, sure, no problem. And they went with them under Das Torah, holding them, picking it out as if it's a mitzvah. And that kid has way less tattoos. And they really feel, and I really feel, that once you take the fight out, once you take the bite out, and they calm down and they're closer to us, they have less pain. And they have less pain, they get out of their tattoos much more quickly. And I have a right to say that, because really, out of 450 plus families, we are winning the tattoo battle. Winning doesn't mean that we have no kids with tattoos. We have a select few percent, which are the same few percent who are in the most pain. But the average, above average, 80%, 90%, something like that, some get none and some get very few. Because fighting or looking down at behavior doesn't change it. That's the whole problem that we have. That the child knowing that I'm disappointing mommy and daddy, I'm doing something against their Torah, doesn't have the result that we were hoping for. We were hoping the result is, how could I do this to mommy and daddy? How could I go against the Torah? But we're not finding that result in our category. We're finding that the fact that you're looking down at me makes me hate your thing that's causing you to look down at me even more. So it causes a sinner to the Torah, because your Torah is causing me pain. Because if I would be a guy and you would be a guy, you wouldn't have such a problem with it. But all of a sudden you look down at me, you think you're better than me. all of that. Another factor is that a lot of kids actually are getting tattoos to cover up their pain, to numb their pain. Some of them we've had who had cuts, that the cuts were permanent, so they made flowers to include and empower the cut to mean something, or to put a saying. I don't know what the halacha is, but it's very healthy for them emotionally to own those cuts, and to, instead of looking and seeing weakness and pain, they give themselves a message. Everybody in the world agrees that that's a good thing for them, and I don't see that they're asking us a shayla anyway, so it's not up to you whether you should pay or not. You ask your das Torah, but certainly if you can, you support that. I'm supporting your healing. And then you have kids who are in pain and they get tattoos and it causes the pain to go away temporarily. For example, a boy that I hold on one second, right? I'll tell you a story, true story. All my stories are true. A kid who was an adult already, off the derech, who I worked with for a long time and really struggling and suffering. It was on a Tuesday. He showed me, look, I got a tattoo on Sunday night. My first response, I mean, what would your first response be? My first response was, I'm not a rabbi. I'm not I'm nothing. I'm his friend. So when someone says, hey, I decided to go shopping, I decided to rent out my house, you just say, the normal question is, why? So I just, without any judgment, said, why'd you do that? Why'd you get a tattoo? He told me he was feeling extremely depressed and he was suicidal. And he is perfectly capable of trying to kill himself. He landed up in the hospital before that 5, 6, or 7 times. I don't remember where it was because there were times afterwards. Suicide attempts. So that's serious. I felt suicidal and I decided to get a tattoo. So I said, wow, and how do you feel now? He said, I feel much better since then. Now, there's a whole psychology. Why did he feel better? Why did the wanting to kill himself go down? Read up on it, but it's a fact. So I said, so you mean Sunday night there was a Jewish person who was going to put his life in danger, and you saved him by getting a tattoo, going against the Torah. You saved his life, and it worked because now he's not feeling suicidal. I said, I think that's the biggest mitzvah in the world. Now, I'm not talking as a rabbi because I'm not a rabbi, or even that I know anything. Ask your Rav what they think. But this was just the way I was thinking, unofficial, not representing Hashem or Torah. In my own mind, I was thinking, wow, because Hatzalah does that all the time. You get a call. Someone might be in danger. Someone is walking on a bridge, walking in a dangerous place, not feeling well. They break everything, right? In order to try to save the person, even a suffix, you have to break everything. Here, it wasn't a suffix. You were perfectly capable of overdosing on pills, of doing lots of different things to yourself. You were in danger. This action, even though the Torah says not to do it, worked. And now you are not suicidal because that's what happened, at least temporary. When Hatzalah goes on a call, they don't say, well, why should we break Shabbos? Tomorrow he'll be again in danger. No, you have to treat each time as much as you can, even if it comes back on Wednesday or Thursday for this guy. But he got himself off the ledge from Sunday to Tuesday. And it might be forever, and it might be a month. It doesn't matter. He did the pu'ula. He did the rescuing act because he got attacked. It worked. It's a fact. He was in a deep, dark place, and for whatever reason, the triggers, the letting out of the pain, the physical pain versus the emotional pain, for whatever reason, the bottom line is, he now is not suicidal. I said, what, your mitzvah, this is the biggest mitzvah in the world. I told him, I want to sponsor it. I want to sponsor it. I said, I want you to go back and put a plaque, donated, dedicated, Avi Fishoff, sponsoring this tattoo, because it saved your life. Now, it happens to be that I think that I'm right, I'll be Torah also. But if not, then don't do it. I'm just telling you how I feel, that this is sometimes life-saving. So sometimes our kids who are getting tattoos are in tremendous pain and it's saving them, or it's coming from tremendous pain, or it's something that doesn't even have an explanation. You have one choice. You have one choice as parents. Could you stop her? If you can, go ahead, stop her. At what cost? Are you allowed to lock her up? No. Are you allowed to tie her down? No. Are you allowed to, what could you do to stop her? I'm not going to take her. I'm not going to give her money. I'm not going to. Then you're going to end up with more tattoos because it's coming from more pain, more anger. And I think by now everybody understands that. I think 20 years ago or 10 years ago, 12 years ago, in the beginning, people thought I'm crazy. I think now everybody's like, yeah, you're right. It just makes them angrier. They get more tattoos and they find a way to get money. You're not enabling anything. They're going to get what they want and they're going to owe somebody who pulled through for them. That's the person that I have allegiance to, not my parents who are never there for what I need because I feel that I need this. So now she has a need. One kid needs a black hat, one kid needs new tzitzis, one kid needs a new dress, and one kid needs a tattoo. And you have one choice. I'm either going to be there with you, I'm either going to support you, supply you, and be there with you as if it's not an avera and as if it's a good thing, because I trust in you and it's coming from a place that I believe it really might even be a good thing, but this is your journey that you're only in because someone threw you down a flight of stairs. So I'm not going to abandon you. You know why she's behaving this way. Something happened. We have enough symptoms to prove it. Tattoos itself, especially on frum kids, is a sign of childhood trauma. So you're doing something now because someone hurt you years ago, and this is a natural cause for a lot of kids. And I'm going to abandon you? No, my Torah says no. It's Chil Hashem. Again, not from the Torah. Just look at it as a human. It's going to make her hate that thing. You never want to tell her, I don't approve of this. How can I approve of this? Ask your Rav for hadracha, but for mutter asur. But from my perspective, again, TP is a murkav, is a mix of advice, but it needs to be along with Das Torah. If you were goyim, I would just give you the advice, and we all know the advice is you go with her to the tattoo parlor and you stay with her and you hold her as if, even though you're a white collar, you're a lawyer and you're crystal clean. If you take religion out of it, you're just you live in wherever, in a condo, and you don't want your kid to get a tattoo, you're against it. I would advise you, if you fight it, there'll be more tattoos. Plus, she'll feel abandoned from you in the other parts of her life because you'll disconnect. She won't. And here you have an opportunity to get NKN, nafshik shura b'nafshik, which is what saves them physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. That's our whole mahalach. So look at the difference. You're going to give up on that opportunity of being with her. Yes, her father with a big beard. You have to ask a Chil Hashem. It's a shayla. Ask that to the Rav. Is a Chil Hashem. You might have to put on a bandana, look like a guy. Maybe the wife should go in. I don't know. But the emotional part is anything that you do that is not al pi Torah, I know you're doing because of what bad people did to you, not al pi Torah. You didn't start this. You don't tell this to her. You just have to know and believe in your child. And therefore, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not looking down at you. And you have a father. Yeah, I never thought I would be a father of this. I was hoping Hashem would give me one of those. Hashem gave me a broken neshama that was hurt and stabbed. And my job is to not let go of them. Unless the Rav says, different story. I'm telling you the hadracha. I'm never letting go of her. It's not what I want. It's not what she wants. I never thought my kid would have this disgusting skeleton on her back. It's very painful. But this is the scar. It is the same as the Nazis, except the Nazis took the Jewish hand and against their will tattooed them. This Nazi of childhood sexual abuse forces the child to take their own hand 10, 15 years later and look to the world like they have Bechira while they tattoo their arm. Which is worse? Which is worse? This is what childhood trauma does. Now, some people are going to say, but how do you know? So first of all, we've done our research. We know the statistics. And you have to be dan l'kavskos. And even if not, what do you benefit by saying, oh, this I don't support? What's the benefit? She's going to do less? No. She'll just get supported by somebody else. Her allegiance will go out to the street. In her mind will be, I got to get out of this place. I feel very claustrophobic. People, they're not like me. They're not like me. You know what? You're not like her. I actually think we are the same, just she was stabbed. But she's going to start feeling, they're not like me. They're so nice to me, but I just don't feel comfortable. I got to move out. You know that almost all of our TP kids are home. Almost all. I don't know if the number is 99% or 95%. Our kids are home. Why? Because we don't want them. We want to compensate for what they're doing, supposedly out of free will, even if, yeah, it doesn't matter. We want to compensate for what they're doing that causes them to feel different than us. We want to compensate what they're doing from causing them to feel different than us. The whole family's together, and I'm the one with the pink hair. She's going to feel different. So we have to compensate when we go on trips together and we take pictures together, like somebody sent me now a picture of all the faces of the family. This is our family is complete, and we show her that we paid for your hair, and it doesn't mean anything to us emotionally that divides us, and we are all one, whatever color hair, we are all together. We compensate with fun and gifts and trips and compliments. Then that person feels like they're a part of a family. And that's your only job. Your only job is to make her feel, nebuch, whatever matzav she's in, I have parents. I have a father and mother that they don't use their long beard to look down at me. They don't use their Yiddishkeit to look down at me. They don't judge me. They trust me. They believe in me. They're with me. And they will never abandon me. And this is really the words of Rav Pam Zatzal. He says, I advise parents, Loi lizraik, don't throw your kid away. Loi litchaisai, don't push them away. And don't abandon them. Show them that I'm here, I'm with you, I don't look down at you. Now, how much can you enable? Could you pay for it? Ask your Rav. Could you go there? Ask your Rav. But as much as the Torah lets you be there with her and prove to her that this does not divide us, we are the same. I am no better than you, which is our belief. Who knows if I went through everything she went through, and in her dar, we know that everybody's very weak these days emotionally. If I had her weakness and I had her challenges, who's to say I would be better? I don't look down at you at all. And I'm here for you, and I believe in you, and I'm with you. That's the TP message that causes us to have success. Success doesn't mean we stopped her from this tattoo. It could mean it could be that it means we stopped her from tattoo number 12 or 6 or 40. It's impossible to know. You can only know by asking other TP parents who will testify that if they realize the kids are calmer, they're getting less tattoos, they need it less. It's a process. We don't have black and white. We don't know what would have been the other way. But we have to believe that even after all said and done, if I don't support her, I'm losing my NKN. You can end up losing Yom Kippur, either this year or in 5 years. We lose the whole connection. And that's what we learned from the Baal Shem Tov and the Chazon Ish, that it's the connection that brings them back to Hashem. So you need a really good reason to let go of that connection. And kids don't feel connected to you if they think you don't approve of me, if they think you don't like me, if they think that the song you sing is Al Hanar Hazeh Lo Hispalalti, then they say, I can't be connected. And then you have the medicine in the bag, and you have the IV line, and you have the patient, but they're not letting you have a vein because I don't want to connect to you. I cover up, I shrivel up, I feel judged by you, I feel different, I feel like you look down at me. That's the kiss of death.